Teofimo Lopez defeats Sandor Martin, but did he really defeat Sandor Martin? Real, rigged, or robbery? Let's go. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I bring you guys some bad news. In my opinion, Sandor Martin out of Spain was just robbed tonight on a top-ranked card. I thought Sandor Martin boxed beautifully. He stayed very calm under pressure. He got hit with some good combinations from an explosive Teofimo Lopez here and there. There was a nasty, it looked like a headbutt that opened up a nasty cut on the bridge of Sandor Martin's nose. And, you know, he also had a bloody nose. He had the cut above the nose on the bridge of the nose, and he stayed glued together. And I thought put on a stellar performance in a 10-round fight. I think he won the fight. Some people said, listen, that's why I stay away from social media when judging these fights, because some people in life, and I would say, unfortunately, it's probably like 97% of the people are sheep or followers. So there's an elite 3%. I'm part of the 3%ers where I have my own critical, in-depth thinking. I don't need reassurance. I know I'm great. I know what I'm seeing. I know my thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't require validation. A lot of people, they go on like social media or boxing Twitter or YouTube, and they just take all the input of various opinions, and it helps them formulate their own opinion. Me, I don't need no one to think for me. I seen Sandor Martin defeat Teofimo Lopez. I don't have to look at several tweets. I don't have to see who agrees with me, who disagrees with me, even though I see it. You know, I'm a presence and a big name in the boxing game, so I see it. And some people were saying a draw and this and that. I mean, it's a 10-round fight. I didn't see Teofimo winning 5 rounds cleanly, right? What I did see is Teofimo rushing his work, looking like he was power hungry. He was so eager to try to, outdo his previous work, because you got to keep in mind, this was Heisman night. Teofimo, his name kind of became synonymous because he had highlight reel knockouts as they were grooming him on Top Rank and building him up to become a main eventer. And during that process, before he was a champion, he caught some bodies like Mason Bernard, who also fought Devin Haney, and Teofimo explosively knocked him out, similar to Ray Beltran, who also knocked him out. Difference being, this was not no Heisman night and performance like his previous Heisman night. And Teofimo and his dad, alongside Top Rank, I believe, and old media, they put a lot of pressure on Teofimo. But a lot of it's internal, like Teofimo and his dad saying really weird and bizarre, peculiar things. Like Teofimo did a recent interview and he said that he's the money fight for Devin Haney. Keep in mind, Devin Haney's undisputed, and he said he's the money fight, not Gervonta Davis. And I'm here to tell you, that's cap. That's cap. Especially after that performance, it's cap. Tank Davis, meanwhile, he sells out the Barclays Center by himself. You know what I'm saying? Not by himself, but with Rolly, and we know he's the star attraction, the A side in that equation. Teofimo at home, he did 8,000. They said the announced attendance was 8,000. So that's cool, you know, but Ryan Garcia and Tank definitely put up bigger numbers. I don't want to get too caught up in the attendance. I'll break down the fight. Sandor Martin, I thought he was pretty swift. He stayed very composed, very poised, picked his shots. It wasn't the most scintillating fight, but I thought all in all, Sandor Martin outboxed him. Now, in the second round, Teofimo got check hooked. It looked like maybe even on the temple as he was lunging in. And he, for that reason, his legs buckled, caught off balance. Wow. Flash knockdown. The referee rightly called it a knockdown. But there was a point later in the fight. I don't have all the rounds memorized, but in that second half of the fight, similar situation, Sandor Martin caught him with like a right hand and then kind of followed through and kind of cuffed the back of his head slightly. But it was the punch that landed that caused Teofimo to, again, touch the canvas. But the vantage point or whatever. It's up to the referee's discretion, and it slipped by the referee. And for some reason, the referee did not credit Sandor Martin for 2 knockdowns. So one of the scorecards was just bloody outrageous. It was like 97-92, meaning Teofimo basically won 8 rounds out of 10, because this was only a 10 rounder. It wasn't for a full body title or anything. So it was a 10 round, 10 championship, interim belt, 10 rounds, right? There's no way on God's green earth, and I triple my worth, that Teofimo won 8 rounds solid. He didn't look good. His dad's corner advice was horrible as well, to the point where, it's getting to the point where it's looking kind of like the back half of Robert Guerrero. You guys like this guy? Mayweather, he beat up his wife. Come on, baby nuts. Right? It's looking kind of like that, where I respect father-son duos in the world of boxing, but sometimes the fathers have to let it go. And Lennox Lewis has a perfect quote where he was talking about Joshua, I think, meet with me. And Lennox Lewis was basically saying, you can't expect to graduate college with a kindergarten teacher, something to this effect. And you guys get the analogy. You graduated kindergarten with this kindergarten teacher. That's not necessarily going to get you through Ivy League college, years later. So some of these father-son tandems, it becomes to a point where maybe the father has taught everything he can teach. And that's what it's looking like for me with Teofimo, because I'm not seeing maturation. I'm not seeing progress. I'm not seeing Teofimo thrive. In fact, it reminds me of Anthony Joshua, Teofimo, because the biggest fight on their careers, which were unifications, they had those fights, won those fights, and after seemingly, at least to me, have regressed in the sport of boxing. Of course, Anthony Joshua, when he fought Vladimir Klitschko, probably to this day the best victory on his resume, and that was a unification, right? There was an additional belt available in that particular fight. Joshua came through, knocked out Klitschko late after being dropped. They dropped each other. And then from that point, you had Carlos Takam and Joshua with Joseph Parker. And later he loses to Andy Ruiz Jr. and Alexander Usyk twice. So it's like a steady, and I'm talking about before he lost to Andy Ruiz, his performances had tapered off. And he, like, even the Carlos Takam fight, he won by a knockout, but it also had a controversial ref, just like Joseph Parker had a controversial ref. Now you look at Teofimo, ever since like his Lomachenko, it seemed like he peaked, and in that particular fight did what he had to do and won the fight with Lomachenko. But I've seen a regression. His very next fight was a title defense with George Kambosos, and he loses. He gets dropped in round 1. He loses the fight. His face is a bloody mess. He says he almost died. Now, the bad side for old media and Teofimo is what I'm about to say. Teofimo's fresh out of excuses, because he said he already used I almost died, fighting Kambosos. He's already used that before. You've now taken a break. You had one fight in the 140-pound division, and you said, I like fighting southpaws. But you didn't look like you liked fighting southpaws. You looked frustrated, and you already had a fill-out fight with Pedro Campa. So it's really, the takeover is looking like it's over. Not saying that Teofimo can't keep fighting, but at this level, he's looking like food. I mean, who does he beat? And it's just Teofimo. It's weird how certain fighters, they get certain elements of the game, but then it's not enough to sustain the whole thing. Like Floyd Mayweather, I keep going back to it. He's the pinnacle because he evolved with the business, made the right business moves, and had Al Heyman and all these people on his team to help him win. But then he also glamorized the showmanship side, doing the 24/7s, the behind the scenes, showing him training and Xing out his opponent, Robert Guerrero, Canelo's eyes on a poster board while he hits the speed bag. So he mastered that element of charisma and giving the people something to watch, and then made big events and always showed up, delivered under the bright lights, and that's why he's TBE 50-0. But guys like Teofimo, I think he's a good salesperson. Like, he does a pretty good job of doing the promotions. They're like, oh, it's Heisman night. You've seen the the talent upcoming, Jared Anderson, now it's my turn, blah, blah, blah. So he does that part good, and he can fight, but I'm still not seeing the progress for as much as he and his father talks and what they say. So it just looks broken. And things like recently getting into it with Regis Prograis, recently saying he wants to fight Josh Taylor in the UK. I mean, both of those fights, based on what I'm seeing, is problematic, where I would favor Regis and Josh Taylor to beat Teofimo. You know, he's also saying crazy stuff. I'm bigger than Tank, and I'm the A side, and I'm the biggest fight for Devin Haney. Not really. Devin Haney has all the belts, you know, so I can't really get behind a lot of what Teofimo is saying, and it sounds like he's trying to convince himself as he's saying it, but the world doesn't work like that. No one really believes what you're saying. We don't believe you need more people, especially after that performance, because the judges, they can get it wrong, but the real world knows that you lost that fight. That's why I never understood like rigging it and these weird judges and stuff. Like, okay, Sandor Martin has an unfair loss on his record, but anybody who paid attention and watched the fight probably had Teofimo losing the fight. So yeah, you live to fight another day, keep the interim belt, but the real world knows. It's like Pac said, but you will not, you can tell the people you roll with whatever you want, but you will not know what's going on. Payback, I mean, it looks good on your record, but anybody who watched the fight, they're gonna remember that you really lost to Sandor Martin. Other thing that's very troubling since the Kambosos fight is, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, I don't consider Kambosos, nor definitely not Sandor Martin, no prime puncher. He got like 2 knockouts in several fights. So how are you really getting dropped by a guy with 2 knockouts? So that's, I give you guys the good, the bad, the ugly. To me, that's the ugly. You just moved to a new division and you getting dropped by a guy who's not really, he's not Tank Davis. You said you'll beat Tank Davis. You know, you said you can, Regis Prograis too slow. I mean, Regis power is on a whole nother stratosphere to a Sandor Martin. And I know styles make fights, but just the fact that he's going down from these shots, I don't know. It just looks, his work looks rushed. He doesn't get creative. He has natural ability and talent, but he doesn't know how to put it together since the Lomachenko fight. Ego, best in the business. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of Teofimo. Did he win? Did he lose to Sandor Martin? To me, I give props. Sandor Martin, in my eyes, beat Mikey Garcia, which they gave him, in an upset. But this would have been an upset too if it weren't on a top rank card. And you see celebrity boxers like Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Devin Haney roasting Teofimo's performance. So subscribe. Best in the business. I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a Super Thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super Thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super Thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.